What's going on, Tiger Nation? Richie Giuliano. I'm pleased to be joined by a man who wears multiple hats in the Newton Falls system. It is Mr. Greg Lazari. Coach, thanks for coming on. I know you got a busy schedule. You're just getting back from some meetings, but we appreciate your time here on YSN.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right, so with that, this is your busy season. We just talked about it before we started. Athletic director, head football coach, you're the CBI coordinator in Newton Falls, and now you're a dad as well with Gino, who your son's on the football roster as well. How hectic has this season become for you here in the fall?
The fall is busy. The fall is really busy. We have multiple sport teams. We have a lot of things going on, and as the athletic director, well, I got to oversee all that. And then at the same time, I'm coaching football, trying to get these guys ready to play a game.
Yeah, and with that, you guys came out well prepared in week number 1. I mean, it was a great showing up there in Ashtabula. When you take a trip like that, which is about an hour and a half up there to Spire Academy by bus, is that something you wanted to seek out in week number 1? Because knowing down the line in the postseason, you're going to have to make a far trip if you want to make a postseason run. Is that something you kind of planned out, before the season started?
Well, there was a couple things that factored into that. One, we needed a game, and two, Spire does present a little bit of a travel, but it's also a great facility to play in. And I wanted to give my kids the experience of taking a travel because, the chances of playoffs, you're going to be on the road a little bit, and you might have to travel some. And playing up at Spire was nice. And it kind of sets the tone for the season as far as, hey, you got to dial in, you got to stay dialed in, no matter how far the bus drive is.
And what a job by your squad coming off the bus, ready to go. You get that opening kickoff, 3 plays, you're into the end zone quickly. How nice was that as a coach when you score on 3 quick plays to the end zone? You're like, all right, you know what? We're not going to be fatigued coming off this long bus ride. Our guys are ready to roll here in week number 1.
That was a concern, being the long drive, making sure that our kids aren't asleep on their feet. And we did. We got it. My coaching staff did a good job of getting us ready to go. We stepped out on the field, and three plays in, we were kind of excited about what we're doing. Offensive line did their job, and we were pleased. We found some holes, and we hit the end zone.
This is a very exciting time to be a part of the Newton Falls staff because how experienced this team is. You had so many guys in the past couple of years that were playing as freshmen and sophomores, but now they've gotten bigger and stronger as the off seasons have went along, and now you guys are a more experienced group. So kind of highlight this team and how excited this community is now that these guys are now juniors and seniors in this program.
Well, when I returned to be the head coach here 3 years ago, my mantra was, hey, we got to fix us. And we've spent 2 years plus getting that ready, and now we're in year 3. The district has been great. When we had teaching openings, and if we had a qualified person, they filled those with coaches. And so we have a lot of coaches in the building, and we're constantly working on our kids as being better people, not just better players. And that rolled into the off season, and we had what I would call a stellar off season as far as the weight room and our guys listening, buying in, our team GPA, all those great things that go into making a good team. We are top heavy as far as upperclassmen, which we've paid our dues the last couple of years being young, and so now our guys get to see and hopefully get to feel what it's like to be on a veteran team and experience some success.
Now you got 2 very explosive running backs that you could go to at any point. Cameron Brainard, who had 3 touchdowns against St. John, along with Carter Rapsack, who I believe had 2 touchdowns as well. And he's kind of that guy, once you get inside the red zone you go to, he could get to the outside and score. But, for you and your coaching staff, you're almost like the Cleveland Browns in a sense. You got 2 guys you could go to, with Chubb and Hunt. And then for your sake, it is Brainard and Rapsack. So, talk about that dual-headed monster of your running back crew.
We are very blessed to have both those guys in our program. They're both athletic, and they both can tote the rock for us. And they both have a different style, though. They're not the same. Cam has got some burst, and he can get to the edge. Now Carter, he'll hit it inside a little bit harder, but if you give him a little bit of a window, he can go too. And it's nice because what we have the ability to do is we have the ability to have them both on the field, or give one a break, and kind of like the Cleveland Brown-esque is. We can give a guy a break when he needs one and make sure they're both fresh. And when they're both fresh, that's good for the Tigers.
You got Pennington coming back, leading this squad. Now, he didn't get much through the air last week because he didn't have to, the way you guys ran that football against Ashtabula St. John. But, from your perspective, how nice is it to have a leader out there that can control this offense and manage the team?
Quarterback has kind of been a concern. I mean, it's been next man up for the last 2 years, and Alex actually started out last year as a tight end, and he was converted to quarterback probably week 4 or 5 last year, and he does bring back some experience, and every game he improves. The nice thing that goes with our passing game is, our receivers are forced to be reckoned with if we have to throw. We got some new guys out there. We got Jake Klein, he's a 6'3" target. Dylan McGregor's another 6'3" target. And then we bring back veterans Caden Short and Nick Wright, who are kind of our speedsters. My son will work into the mix there, Gino Lazari, in the slot position. And so we got guys we can get the ball to, and that hasn't always been the case here. And that definitely helps out Alex as far as, his progression is he knows he's got guys he can trust. And so in the past, when he first became quarterback, he kind of got locked in throwing to one guy here or there. And now, he's learned and he's able to read the field, and, we're looking at defenses and exploiting weaknesses in their coverage. Ideally, our run game sets up our pass because we're a run first team. And if you have those two backs in your backfield, you want to run the ball. And with the offensive line that we have, that's a force. So what we want the defenses that face us to pack the box so we can throw.
Now, when you look at the newspapers, all the highlights and the news coverage, you see two guys, Brainard and Rapsack, who are getting all the media coverage. But that doesn't happen if you don't have a really good offensive line like you guys do. Kind of put a spotlight on some of those offensive linemen that are pushing forward.
Well, see, last year we were big. We graduated only 2 off of our offensive line. And guys that got some experience from last year are now starters. And the thing that's unique about us, not only we're big, we feel we're athletic up front. And when you're big and athletic up front, that's going to help. You got Wyatt Jones, who plays left tackle for us. He's 6'3", 300-pounder, and he's got great feet. Moving forward from there, you have the left guard, which is a converted tight end, Xander Miller. He's a junior. But because he was an athletic tight end, his forte was blocking, we moved him inside because he moves well. Nick Henley's our center. He's done a great job there. He's 6 foot, 270 pounds. Conor Keys is our right tackle, who was a guard, but due to current depth chart and injury situations, he's moved from guard to tackle, and he's doing a good job there. And Trevor Rusko is only a sophomore who actually earned starting time last year towards the end of the season as our right guard. And he's 5'11", 250, and he moves well. So, we're excited about those guys. In the tight end spot, which we're one of those teams that still uses a tight end, sometimes 2 of them. We have 2 guys that really help us there. Holton Hansel's a senior. He's a 6'2", 205-pounder, and Ethan Powell, who's a sophomore, at 5'11", 200. So, I mean, we're pretty solid up front as long as we can stay healthy.
Yeah, now on the defensive side for you, Coach, one thing that my partner and I were looking at during that first game against St. John is your ability to crash the football on the defensive side, especially with your linebacking crew. 3 guys that we were calling a lot were Aiden Hatcher, Gage Ferris, and Jacob Mosh, 3 linebackers that were really good on Thursday against Ashtabula St. John. Kind of highlight those 3 guys and what your linebacking crew brings to the table. You got one of the fastest in this conference.
Well, thanks. Those guys have worked. They've done a great job. Aiden Hatcher led our team last year in tackles, and he returns. Gage Ferris really stepped up. He's only a sophomore, but he does not play like a sophomore. We are really high on him, and we think he's going to be special as we go forward in the future. On the outside, you got Jake Moss, who is a junior, and he had an unbelievable – he's actually a poster child for what the weight room can do. He had a great offseason, and through 2 scrimmages and 1 game, he is leading our team at the moment from the outside linebacker spot. He had an interception, and he has a nose for the ball. He's much more physical now, and we're very excited about him. And then Carter Rapp pulls double duty out there on the other side as that outside linebacker.
Now, this is your second stint with the Tigers, and when you come back, this is your 3rd season now. Your program's looking for the first winning season in a long time. Do you think this lineup and this roster that you have is your best chance for a winning season this year with how many talented guys you have on the field?
Oh, we're excited. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, when they brought me back, I realized it was going to be an uphill battle, but I believe I owe Newton Falls, and I'd like to see the program, like to see the program succeed because we care about this program, we care about the school, we care about the community, and we want to put a product on the field that people are proud of. This is we believe this is our chance, and we start talking about the top contenders in the league, and you got Brookfield clearly jumps off at you. And then you have the two big dogs in Crestview and Garrettsville. Those guys have great programs. We'd like to throw our hat in the ring with them as well. And, it's one thing to say it on paper and it's another thing to do it on the field. And, that's our goal. And another step is tomorrow night against Jackson Milton. And our goal is to compete for a league title. We haven't won a league title in football since 1968 at Newton Falls. And so, we've preached that to our kids and we've talked about that. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a winning season here, and that we're going to fix that.
Coach, along with your athletic director job and your head football coaching job at Newton Falls, you talked about the care of the community and care about these kids. You're also the CBI coordinator there as well. So kind of go in depth about what that job is. Not a lot of people are very familiar with what that position is. So kind of highlight what you do in the CBI portion.
CBI stands for Career-Based Intervention, and it's a program designed to give students an opportunity to get real-life work experience during the school day. A lot of my kids, there's certain qualifiers that you put them in that program. A lot of my kids work to help out at home. So it's a program that's geared on the vocational side of getting work experience while still taking regular classes. And so they're in part of the day and they go work part of the day. And we've had great success as far as 100% graduation through the program. We've had multiple kids go on to 4-year colleges. Heck, I got one playing football at Capital University this year. And we've had some guys that have moved into tech trades and skilled trades. And we have one student that's currently in a nursing program. So they get real life work experience and they get an idea of career planning and exposure to a lot of different areas and things that they can be successful in their future lives.
Wow, that's absolutely awesome. Thank you for what you do for these kids in this community at Newton Falls. And, looking forward to this week 2 matchup, Jackson Milton on the road on Friday. The Blue Jays, who came out with an emphatic statement against Latonia, beat them pretty convincingly, and their quarterback who put up 7 touchdowns through the air. So what do you think it's going to take to come out with a victory on the road against the Blue Jays?
I think I've said that before. We can't let them throw for 7 touchdowns. That's for one thing. They're a good team, and they may be one of the better Jackson Milton teams I have seen. And they're aggressive on defense. They got some players over there that can get after the ball. Our job is going to be who we are. We can't get caught up in the moment because for us this is a rival game. Jackson Milton Falls, it's a border war. We play for a trophy called the County Line Cup. We were fortunate enough to get it last year, and it's in our locker room right now. And I told the guys they get to keep it till 7:00 tomorrow. The idea is that we get to keep it for another 365 days after tomorrow. So the idea is that we got to be physical. We got to be assignment sound. We talked about last week. We weren't perfect by any means. If I was grading us, I'd give us a C. We need to do better work than that. We need to make sure we wrap when we tackle. We need to be aggressive, and we need to be assignment sound in the secondary. We take care of those things, and make it a game into the fourth quarter. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for a good football game, and let's win it in the fourth quarter.
Coach, we appreciate your time. I know you're busy getting through all these meetings and, going through your emails, and I hear you getting phone calls during our interview. So we know you're a busy man, but we appreciate your time, and we wish you the best of luck on Friday night between the Jackson Milton Blue Jays.
Thank you. Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you.